Yo, 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 patch note time, patch note time. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video, something we've been waiting for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Some of you out there don't care, others still do. If you're like me, you're still playing the game, you want to see what Ubisoft is doing in this next big upcoming title update, 1.1.0. Let's get to it. Let's run through this entire thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to hang out with me and discuss this and go through this entire thing, you could always Google Ghost Recon Breakpoint forums, click on the link, go to Ghost Recon Breakpoint news and announcements, Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Breakpoint title update. It's right here on the top. Click on it, go through it at your own time, your own leisure. For the rest of you want to hang out, go through this with me. Let's get to it. So, download time and size. Xbox One, 14.7 gigs for you Xbox people. PlayStation 4, 13.7 gigs. PC, 11.3 gigs. So it's another large title update. A lot of things being removed and replaced. Basically a third of the game. So patch highlights, here we go. Made improvements to night vision. Yet again, let's see if they actually nailed this time and it's fixed forever. Fixed an issue where players got stuck when pressing both LT, LB, L1, and L2 while prone if they had the rocket launcher equipped. That's an interesting issue, something I've never experienced as a PC player. Fixed a crash occurring in snow regions when flying too high while playing on PC. This is something that's been on the forums for a while. This was reported on the following graphics cards: NVIDIA GTX 1080, the 980, and several cards from the AMD Radeon line. Fixed an issue where EMP grenades MK2 were not available to buy in Maria's shop, despite unlocking the EMP grenade skill. In the previous title update, we prevented the issue from happening again. This title update retroactively fixes the issue for already affected players. Players who previously lost their thermal night vision will get it back after loading their save. So when you load back into your game, hopefully your thermal night vision is in the game. Hopefully it will no longer disappear. Hopefully this is actually fixed. We shouldn't have to go through 3 title updates. If this comes back again and they can't fix it, it's going to take 3 title updates. I mean, really, what are these guys doing? So let's hope this is actually fixed this time. Players who lost their water canteen or binoculars will get them back after loading their save. The fact that these things weren't hot fixed is mind-boggling. Fixing issues that sometimes respawn players with minor injuries after killed in action. So this is something that happened to me a lot, especially during the raid. You come back after you died and you're there still beat up. So this is good. This is a good fix. Fixed an issue that removed backpack items with the quantity of 0 if they were replaced by another item. Interesting. Rebalanced stamina for PvP after it was buffed in the previous title update. Like I said in the last video, I believe they buffed the stamina for the raid, and now they realize it was too much, so they have to unbuff it for PvP. Which is why, in my opinion, moving forward, developers should not combine PvP and PvE. They should have 2 separate departments for each category. Don't combine them. If you want more stamina here, it doesn't mean it has to be here. You want bullet damage a certain way here, it doesn't have to be the same here. They have to stop doing things like that. It's a pain in the neck and it's probably tough to balance. Okay. Rebalance the cooldown on the ping system in PvP. It was too long to be effective. Tone down the coughing sounds players could hear while in Erewhon. Let's see how this ends up when we log in tomorrow. Enemies will no longer shout in pain after being shot in the head. Let's see what happens here. Imagine you go in and you shoot them and you don't even hear anything at that point. You don't hear a little... It's just nothing and they mess it up, and then we got to wait until the next title update for them to fix that. So let's see if that's actually fixed. Improved AI behavior. This is going to be an ongoing thing with each title update, them improving the AI. Fix an issue where enemies investigating will go to cover mid-detection. So let's see what happens with this. If enough NPC die in a single spot, they will stop rushing the player and will get into cover more often than before. This is good. Spoke about this in the last video. If you realize you're in a corridor or in an area where enemies are funneling to you constantly, the whole base will funnel to you. Hopefully that'll stop now. We need more enemies that the AI knows how to flank you in all scenarios. Modified the vanish rule so that NPCs will stay and fight if they're close enough to the player. This we spoke about in the last video. So now if you're hiding and enemies are still close to you, you're not going to all of a sudden vanish and they're going to walk away. Looting intel on Rosebud's body is no longer mandatory to complete the Speak No Evil mission to match the behavior on the other wolves' boss's missions. See, I don't know about that. That's basically saying find Rosebud. Now, I don't remember which one Rosebud is. I remember one of them are in the camp and one of them is inside in that one like military complex. But I think Rosebud, is Rosebud the sniper? I forget. But that would be kind of lame if you could just kill him from mad far and then walk away. You know, you're trying to get intel off the guy, no? Oh, no big deal. No one cares anyway about the story, right? Fixed an issue where part of the L3GP night vision was static and not attached to the item. Fixed an issue that caused the ghillie gear paint to change when players changed their pants color. The ghillie gear paint? Couldn't you change the ghillie gear paint in Wildlands? This is a bug? I don't remember being able to change my ghillie gear paint in Breakpoint, which I remember questioning myself. Why can't I change the ghillie suit color? But maybe this is something else. I don't know. In the Wolves Bosses mission, intel is now looted when the player grabs their body. Okay, that's interesting. Started improvements on the base jump mechanic. More to come in the next title update. Oh my god, started improvements? How hard is it? You just let me base jump when I... Whatever. So we gotta wait in another, what, 2 months, 3 months for the next title update to see if the base jumping will be fixed. That's an issue when you're constantly trying to do something in game and it leads to your death. That should be a priority. I mean, really. But there's so many things broken with this game, as you can see. So we got to give them credit. They're trying. They're trying. The game obviously needed 1 more year. Fixed an issue that prevented players from accessing a new class after unlocking it. Oh, that sucks. The digital scope now has multiple levels of zoom. Fixed priority so that the interact button now prioritizes mission givers over vehicles. Okay, that's cool. Reduce the time to take for the item sold pop-up to disappear. Okay. Fixed an issue that caused several stats to reset to 0 after creating a new save slot or deleting one. Story collectibles, main quest completed, playstyle, combat, PvP, card stats, etc. Oh, alright. So it'll stay consistent over all your saves? What if people don't want that? Well, whatever. Project Titan. Okay. So this is for all this. Fix several issues that cause some bosses to stop moving in some cases. Huh. LMGs with 150 ammo capacity, Stoner, MK48, 6P41 have been nerfed by negative 17%? Only for raid boss fights, not for the rest of the game? What? Holy shit. So the one gun that people were using over and over and over again, because obviously more bullets meant they could really hit that little square box and kill the boss. And this is outside the glitch. The one gun people were using to beat the boss, this is usually the gun I used. If I had a Stoner or one of these 100 to 150 round magazine weapons, I can't believe that they did this. They nerfed it by 17%, making it now even harder to beat these bosses. I mean, damn, it was tough enough. It was tough enough doing this shit legit. Now you nerf the one gun everybody used. What are you guys thinking? People don't even want to raid. They don't like the raid. You making it harder? And let me keep going. LMGs with 100 ammo capacity have been nerfed by 7%, only for raid boss fights. But then they nerfed the HP of Bao, Skell Quantum Computer, and Cerebrus by negative 5% each. So, Bael's the tank, right? So they nerfed everyone except the one that flies, unless I'm wrong. I think Bael is the tank though. So they nerfed them by a little bit, but then they nerfed the guns by a lot. So let's see how that plays out. Let's see how that plays out. Now that the DMR glitch is gone, people are gonna have to start doing this legit again. All right, so AI. Improved AI behavior. Fix an issue where enemies investigating will go to mid. Okay, why would you repeat this? If an NPC dies at a single spot, they will stop rushing the player and will get into cover more often than before. Okay, that's cool. We also modified the vanish rules so that NPCs will stay in fight if they're close enough to the player. Okay, NPC packing. When deactivating generators, nearby NPCs will now enter suspicious state instead of worried state. Wait. I didn't even realize this. I just realized it by color. It's like white, yellow, red. Is suspicious not... Huh. You guys let me know in the comments. What's the difference here? Worried and suspicious. Maybe I have to pay attention more. Vehicle noises will now make the NPCs enter suspicious state instead of worried state. Oh, shit. Interesting. So I have to do some testing with this. I just thought it was you're not seen, they're suspicious, you're seen. Just like Breakpoint. It's basically 3 levels. So it was like nothing, hunted, alerted. But now it's suspicious and worried. Okay, so this will reduce the number of NPCs who investigate these events, which will lead to fewer situations where they get packed. For the next title update, we will work on further improvements to this behavior. All right, so like I said, they're going to keep really trying to hone in and tweak this AI behavior. Difficulty tweak. Enemies can see further away when in fight. Players will receive more damage from enemies in regular difficulty. Fix an issue where NPCs could sometimes get in their vehicles instead of fleeing. Oh, so enemies can see further away when in a firefight, when in fight, whatever. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that they couldn't see you. Audio, tone down the coughing sounds player in Erewhon. Fix an issue where the sound for an incoming sand launcher missile would not play when approaching the player's helicopter. That's interesting. Fix some sounds in photo mode. Enemies will no longer shout in pain after being shot in the head. So we got over that. Base jump, we went over this. Started improvements on the base jump mechanic, more in the next title update. All right, bivouac. Fix an issue in co-op that sometimes caused the drone, night, or thermal vision to stay on if a player was using them while a teammate deployed the bivouac. Wait, so that's interesting. So in co-op, your drone, night, thermal visions would stay on if a player was using them while a teammate deployed a bivouac. That's would stay on and you couldn't turn them off. I never experienced that. But then again, I only play co-op in the raids, so you barely go to bivouacs. Fix an issue that prevented the number of resources to update after crafting consumables in the bivouac. Fix an issue that sometimes reduced the player's ammo when leaving a bivouac. Ooh, wow. Fix an issue that, all right, so customization. Fix an issue that caused the ghillie gear paint to change when players change their pants colors. Heard that one. All right, here's something. Fix an issue that caused the Cry AVS 1000 backpack to change model every time the player accessed a bivouac. Oh, that's crazy. Fix an issue where the part of the night vision was static and not attached. We read that one. Continued adding improvements to adaptive magazine pouches on the vest. We have added assault rifle magazine, sniper rifle, shotguns, and grenade launchers, which will work with functioning vests. We're still working on the remaining vest as stated in the last title update patch notes. Okay, so gameplay. Fixed an issue that led players to respawn under the map if they lost connectivity during the opening screen and went back to the character creation. Whew. That's insane. Fixed an issue where players got stuck, we read this, while prone if they had the rocket launcher equipped. So this is what I don't understand. Oh, I guess I don't think I've ever tried. I don't think I've ever went prone and equipped my rocket launcher now that I think about it. Sharpshooter exploit with DMR rifles addressed in all modes. So for you guys out there cheating, it's done with. DMR has been fixed. And it's funny too, there's this one rifle I like. I forget the name of it. It's basically the only rifle I have that has like ghillie suit type camouflage on it. It's not just a paint. Like you could see that there's like vegetation on it. And it's gear score 250, but it's kind of weak. Like I'll shoot a dude in the chest and they'll live. And it's a DMR. So I feel like people should die. And while I was playing solo, I was actually using the DMR glitch with that rifle to make it feel real. And it felt so much better playing with that rifle with the DMR glitch. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. I guess I won't be playing with that rifle anymore. That's another thing too that upsets me with like the gunsmith. You should be able to put vegetation camouflage on all of your weapons. Like, what is it that they don't have that? Anyway, fix an issue that sometimes respawned players with minor injury. Okay, fix an issue that prevented players from seeing any visual feedback when the character fell and received damages. Fix an issue that caused some chests in South Cape Station to reset too fast. And I don't think anyone cares about that. Fix an issue in co-op that led to replication latency after micro inputs. Interesting. Fix an issue in co-op that caused the ogres to disappear if the host went too far away from them. Fix an issue in co-op that prevented players from grabbing a down teammate in helicopters if the rotor blade was broken. Oh, that sucks. Improved night vision. Fix priority so that the interact button now prioritizes mission givers over vehicles. Read that one. All right, so here's mission. Looting intel and Rosebud, we read this one. Fix an issue that would trigger a mission. Okay, fix an issue that would trigger a mission fail for players if the mission intel was not consulted after killing the target and leaving the mission area. Oh, that sucks. And the Wolves boss's mission intel is now looted when the player grabs the body. Improve spawning location in some missions when using return the last checkpoint option. All right, that's cool. PC, we're getting there, guys. Fix an issue that set the default graphics card to integrated GPU and prevented players from updating it after. Oof. Fix the crash occurring in snowy regions. We read this one. Fix an issue that did not close the text chat after a single click outside of the text chat area. That sucks. Progression. Players who previously lost their thermal night vision will get it back after loading. Players who previously lost their water canteen. Fix an issue that prevented players from accessing a new read that. Read that. Fix an issue occurs when can't. All right. Fix an issue that occurs when quitting the game instantly after deleting a save slot, where the save would not be deleted, but the progress would reset anyway. Huh, that's crazy. That's kind of cool. Delete, but then you go back in and you just start fresh again. Fix an issue that allowed field medic healing drone to get night and thermal vision, even if the player didn't acquire the drone's vision skills. Okay. Fix an issue that allowed players to loot tool items even when at full capacity if they walked on them while aiming. Project Titan. Rewards. Oh, I already took a peek at that. I like this. Fix an issue where players were receiving loot with a gear level that is higher than intended. Oh, what? That sucks. I hope that doesn't mean it's going to make it 10 times harder for them to get to 150 to 300. Because it's hard enough. It's grindy enough as it is. Like I just 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago. I just hit 300 and ever since it came out, I played every week. And I didn't clear every week either. Like the first week, I think I did one boss. I think the second week I might have done 2 or 3. Maybe the third week I cleared it. Then I cleared it again. And then I cleared it, I think 2 or 3 more times to get to 300. Yeah, so it's been like, I don't know, what, 5-6 weeks? So, oh God, imagine it takes even longer to get to, I mean, does it matter? Like what's Terminator going to drop? Is it going to go above 300 now? Imagine players were receiving loot gear higher than 300. I don't even know. Let me know in the comments if you know what this is about. Killing a raid boss will give you 10,000 skull credits now instead of the previous 2. It's still irrelevant here, Ubisoft, even though no one's watching. You know, it's not like anyone of them are watching this. Now that, you know, I'm, what, 20 minutes in, some of you guys are barely watching this at this point. What the raid bosses should drop after you get all their loot for the week are items throughout the world. So instead of me going and finding collectibles, this, that, and the other, well, maybe not collectibles. I don't know. I don't know how they want to do it. But I just feel like world items should still drop in the raid and just let people grind it as much as they want, keep people in the raid, because I don't know, don't you want the raid to survive, and as it is, I don't think a lot of people play it, but I don't know, they have the data for that. Weapons balancing, the LMGs, yes, we read this. Excuse me. Message from the devs. Here we go. Here's the message. The LMGs with high ammo capacity were too powerful and dominant in raid boss fights. The damages have been nerfed for raid boss fights only. It should help more weapons and playstyles to shine. I mean, I do agree with them, but when you just look at the math, for instance, like with supercomputer or just any of them, you're trying to get as many bullets as possible into the boss. So unless you completely nerf them insane, and this is an insane amount to nerf, almost 20%, to get other guns in there. People just are trying not to reload. That's why they use those weapons. And maybe if you didn't make a boss fights that sucked and it was just shooting something, people wouldn't just use one type of weapon. But you guys have, this is the imagination you have. It's so, you're so brain dead with developing your mechanics that you have to do stupid nerfs like this. And it kind of pisses me off. You know, what if you just like the LMG and now it's, you know, what, 1/5 weaker than what it was last week? Whatever. So to compensate for the LMG damage nerf, the HP of several bosses has been slightly reduced. We hope that those changes will keep the balance of the fights the same as it was before, while allowing more diversity in the weapons playstyle used. I'm going to call it out right now. People will still use the LMGs. When you have the ability to not reload and shoot an entire 100 round or 150 rounds at the boss at once, it's way better than a 30 round magazine that you have to keep reloading. You know, it's like, I don't know. I still think people are going to use LMGs, but we'll see. We'll see how badly it's nerfed. So Bale nerfed 5%. Fixed the glitch where the boss could stop moving. I think Bale is the tank. Scale Quantum Computer. The O2 bone will now start with a 70-second cooldown. What? The delay between two gas events has been increased by 1 second. The delay between two wasps waves has been increased by 2 seconds. The HP of the boss has been nerfed 5%. HP of the red wasps in phase 2 has been nerfed 9%. The fight will now also trigger if a ghost walks on the roof of the control room. Huh. Alright, so Gargoyle. Sorry about that, guys. Gargoyle. Fix a glitch where the boss could stop moving in some cases. Okay, so him too. Cerebrus. The HP of Cerebrus has been nerfed 5%. The attacks on the same boss will come one after another with more delay. Example, after a flash attack, the Cerebrus flasher will wait a bit more before using its precision cannon. Okay. Fix a glitch where a boss could stop moving in some cases. Fix an issue that allowed players to go under the map after defeating Cerebrus. Oh, I didn't experience that. Miscellaneous. Fix several online issues that kicked players out of the raid. That sucks. Fix several bugs that allow players to be stuck in underground textures while moving or spawning. Fix an issue where players could see the spawning of a helicopter as reinforcement. Fix the bug where a raid camp had a chance of not being spawned. Fix the bug where some turrets could still shoot after being destroyed. Fix an issue where in a multiplayer session the damage of the weapons did not take perks and marks into account. Oh geez, that's terrible. And that's a lot of fixing. All right, so for you PvPers out there, here we go. This is a lot of shit. The meta class skill gauge now fills when allies down enemy players. Rebalance stamina for PvP. Fix an issue that caused the injured bark to be heard from spectator point of view when last man standing dies. Fix an issue with the sharpshooter certification 2 milestone, which is being awarded to both the player marking and to the player getting marked. That's funny, you get marked and you get a certificate. Fix an issue that prevented the player detected bark by a sensor grenade to play if the player was last man standing. Fixed an issue that caused players to be stuck in a session with the group after the leader quits during PvP. Fixed specific locations near the surveillance system on the PMC map that caused the players to fall through the map after using prone jump action. Jeez, and this isn't PvP. That sucks, man. Imagine you fall through the map after you prone jump in PvP. That's so trash. I would never play again after that. It's like, who wants to play broken competitive games like that? Fixed an issue that prevented the text chat from being open in PvP Ghost War menus. Item limit reach is now properly displayed. Fixed an issue that prevented co-op squads from getting pulled into a PvP custom lobby if the host that is in the PvP landing page switches tabs while squad voting is in progress. Fixed an issue that prevented leave as squad option from functioning if the squad leader closes the menu after starting the leave vote. Players will not slide downhill when in a down state anymore. Fixed an issue that caused the Recon Tower available bark to be heard during map outro if the round ends the moment the surveillance system spawns. Fixed an issue where pressing back on the mission tab will show the player spawn in the open world and will leave the player partially stuck between menu pages. Fixed an issue where players won't have a crosshair in spectator mode if they die while ADS. Fixed an issue that caused the special ability gauge to fully charge on explosion kills. Fix the quit to PvP PvE double pop confirmation message if the player quits a PvP standard session while in the matchmaking lobby. Fix some audio issues that were playing at the end of the round. Fixed an issue that prevented PvP standard session matches at the end if one team quits. Oh my god. How do you launch a game like this, man? This company should be ashamed of itself. Fixed an issue that caused the rounds to enter overtime state after the defenders leave the session by unplugging the internet cable while defusing the bomb at the last seconds of the animation. Adjusted PMC map crates to prevent defenders from camping both sabotage objectives at once. Fixed a visual issue that caused ammo to appear depleted when spectating an ally who's reviving another teammate. Rebalanced the cooldown on the ping system as it become too long to be useful. Read that. Adjusted the ambient occlusion for the high ground bunker in the Cold War bunker map. Oh, I remember that, but that was during there's a lot of ambient occlusion issues in this game, but I remember that from the beta. Mark level of the weapon is now displayed correctly in the enemy's players cards. Fix an issue where players won't have a crosshair in spectator mode if they die in water. Oof. Tired after reading all this. Oh my god. It's like 30 minutes of just reading bugs. And this is the problem with these title updates. Guys, this isn't even a title update. It's just a fucking patch. Excuse my language. It's just a patch with bug fixes. Really, don't, like, it's insane. It's insane. And people think like this is going to be like the savior of the game, these title updates. It's not. Like, the year one is already solidified what's going to happen. Like, if you're just playing this game still, it's just like me, you're just bored at this point. I mean, all this is bug fix, and half of this shit you're not even going to realize. Other than the Terminator event that comes out, what, Wednesday? Fixed a replication. Fixed an issue that caught players would not see the proper equipped weapon attachments on their teammates. Fixed a replication issue in co-op where a player would respawn in the same state as when they died if their teammate revived them in water. Stats. Fixed an issue that caused several stats to reset to 0 after creating a new save slot or deleting one. Story collectibles, main quest completed, playstyle, combat, PvP player card stats, etc. Fixed the gear level displayed on the statistics menu that did not update until the player logged out. UI. Yeah, scraped the entire UI and rebuilt it. Fixed several requirement details for customization items and menus that previously had incorrect unlock conditions. Added the green mesh banner that was missing from Maria's banner selections in the shop. Fixed an issue on console that reverted the graphic mode setting to default between sessions. Fixed the display issue in menus where players would see the wrong XP level of the other players in the lobby. Fixed an issue that made the crosshairs visible when entering the passenger seat of vehicles while crouching. Fixed an issue that prevented players from using the interrogate option on captive enemies while ADS. Wait, so while you're ADS, you couldn't. Okay. Reduce the time it takes for the item sold pop-up to disappear. Fixed an issue where players would sometimes get a ghost item in the inventory with no stats while selling multiple items. Vehicles were coming to the end. Fixed an issue with X2 tape-in helicopter allow cooldown between bursts. Bolts will now sink after being destroyed. Fixed an issue on the helicopter that sometimes caused it to bounce on the terrain after being taken down. Fixed the clipping issue with aiming with the handgun from vehicle passenger seats. Visual. Fixed the graphical corruption on Wolf Soldier when looking at them while ADS or with a drone. Oh man, I wonder what that was. Fix the visual glitch affecting the homesteader's elbow clipping through the shirt. Fix the visual glitch affecting the character's hand through weapon after previewing it. The digital scope has multiple levels of zoom. Read that. Fix the RU kilometer scope accuracy when attached to the AK-74. Fix an issue that caused the weapon to disappear from the character's hands if the player changed weapons very quickly in the loadout screen. Fix the vertical axis rotation for the preview for attachments in the menus. Fixed an issue where players would be unable to shoot after pressing the D-pad down while aiming if the weapon had a bipod equipped. Console players out there got some shitty ass bugs. Added front top rail placement on several weapons. Oh, here we go. For a lot of you guys who want more options, top rail placement, AK-74 Assault, MK-17 Assault, MK-17 Assault Wolves, M4A1 Assault, Tavra Assault. So there you go. Fix the animation when equipping the suppressor on the P90. Fix the zoom level of the T5XI scope on the FRF2 Sniper. The world. Fix the terrain in Aurora Survival Shelter to prevent players from falling through the map and rolling near an object. Fix the collision issue in Skell Estate building, sometimes causing player to get stuck while being prone near a wall. Fix floating objects and missing items at the construction site. Fix browse going through walls and toxic storage depot location. Remove the clipping rock inside Polaris residence. Uplay Plus. Fix an issue that prevented Uplay Plus users to access content from the Ultimate Edition. That sucks. Stadia photo mode is now available for Stadia. Wow. Just wow. You know, in my opinion, a title update should be an update of the game, and especially when you have a game that's a live service game, the game should evolve, in my opinion. Like, for instance, like a construction site. Maybe in 6 months, the site's built. You know, like little things like that. But whatever, I don't want to get into that now. You know what I realized that they're not talking about? And I'm gonna look through my footage. Maybe instead of throwing this right on YouTube, I'll render it and I'll put some things on. I'm not sure if I want to do it. Maybe I'll make a video after that, so I don't have to render a 33-minute video. I could just put it right on YouTube. Because there are display issues that I get, and I know a lot of people get it too, where a chopper flying in, like you'll see the guys before the chopper in the sky or on the ground, like a vehicle's coming towards you and the vehicle's not even spawned on your screen yet. You just see the two guys, and then all of a sudden, boom, it'll render in, and now you see the vehicle. Or you'll be far away from an encampment, and you see a bad guy, and then you zoom in, and there's actually something in front of him that wasn't rendering in the scene. And I didn't have any of these types of issues in Wildlands, but I have a lot of these issues in Breakpoint. And it's not a graphical issue. I could put all my shit on ultra. I don't play everything on ultra. I think sometimes it's just a waste of resources, in my opinion. I'd rather get a high frame rate and smooth gameplay. But I can play everything on ultra. It's with the game. The game has an issue just like rendering things in the distance. Like I said, a helicopter could come. You could see just guys flying in the sky, and then all of a sudden the helicopter will render into the scene. It's very weird, and I want to see that fixed. And I don't see things like that being discussed here. But I mean, hey man, if you all hung out with me for 34 minutes, God bless. You know, these title updates, are just showcasing how bad this game is. Like the state of the game. The state of the game is pathetic. That a title update, the only thing it has is bug fixes. 100% of these 14, 11, 13, 14, whatever gigs going to each respective console slash PC is just replacing things in the game with, I guess, new code and stuff like that that's broken. And it's really, really, it's disheartening in my opinion when you want to be involved in a game because you love it, you love the tactical shooter genre, you love playing military type games like this. There's really no other games like this out. You'll play another third person game like The Last of Us, but it's story driven. It's not this. It's not an open world military game. And I know I could go out there and play Arma 3 and things like that, but I just expect so much more from Ubisoft. For companies like this, I feel like they have so many great IPs. I don't know why they resort to just taking a little piece of the pie with mediocre games more frequently instead of getting the entire pie with games less frequently that are polished like like what Rockstar does. What Rockstar survives on what? 2 games? Really? Red Dead and GTA? And they make so much money off of those launches. I'm not saying Ubisoft can do that. Maybe they don't have the competence to do it. I'm not sure. All I'm saying is that when you have a game and you've put out what? This is the second title update now? You have a always online game. You're not pushing out hot fixes. Half of this shit didn't even have to be like, really. They could hot fix half of this shit every single day, week, like it doesn't matter. Server's going down 15 minutes today. We're gonna hot fix any one of these. Just grab one. Boom, this hot fixed. Boom, this hot fixed. Boom, this hot fixed. Why do we have to wait 2 months for a title update? And the update is just nothing but bug fixes. Like, that's the whole point of having us online, right? Because beforehand, if we weren't online, we would just continue to play a broke game. And it's like, forget it, I don't want to go online and download that patch. But now it's no. You take the game down, you hotfix it, and you put it back on live. You let us download a small patch, 500 megs or whatever it is, a gig here, a gig there. And you could just knock out the majority of this shit in pieces. I don't know why they do it this way, man. Half of this shit should have been fixed ASAP. The minute you realize people lost their water canteen or their binoculars, like people are playing a game where you can lose stamina and you could only get it back by drinking a water canteen, and you didn't hot fix that ASAP. People can't use binoculars. Now, binoculars are not a big deal, I guess, because we have the drone. But sometimes I like to role play, and I'll like not use my drone and it'd just be like on foot soldier, or I just got to use my binoculars to scout, things like that. But if I didn't have my binoculars, like, what the hell, man? Anyway, everybody, if you hung out with me and you watched this entire thing, or if, whatever, if you watched 5 minutes of it, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have any hope that this will help anything? Because I feel like I'm gonna log in tomorrow and I'm gonna be playing the same game, because the majority of these things I didn't even experience. These are bugs that are out there that people experience individually, but on a massive scale, the majority of us hardly go through any of these. So for those people who are on the forums who kept saying like, oh, title update, what are you going to do if the title update doesn't make the game good, blah blah blah, like, at this point in time, I think there's only one thing that could save this game, and minus fixing it, obviously you still need to fix your game, but there's only really one thing that'll resurrect this game and bring it back to life, and that's the AI. That's your teammate AI. Like, bringing back the teammates with a fully fleshed out item, whether it's a wheel or like something like SOCOM where you highlighted one thing and then you had a whole selection of things, like however they want to do it. It needs to be 10 times better than Wildlands. And I just don't know if we're going to get it with these developers. I don't know if these developers, I don't want to call them incompetent. I just really think that management was pushed to get a game out in October before Call of Duty or whatever you want to, whatever conspiracy theory you want to talk about. But obviously they had to push this shit out in October. And these developers they just built everything out and they said, you know, fuck testing. You know? Just get it, just make sure it works and we gotta ship it. And then we'll fix it later. And fuck the consumer. And the people who get fucked are people like me, like us, who's watching this. People who love this game, love this franchise. Everybody else, when you buy a game just to play it, but you're willing to just move on like that and play something else, those people don't care. You know, you get burned and it's like, maybe I won't buy a Ghost Recon game anymore. But it's people like us who are here, OTT 1, OTT 2, closed, open. Now we have the game, Ultimate Edition, not Ultimate, Wolves Edition. You know, like some people want the Ultimate. Like we're the ones that got burned, and we sit here and we play the game, we put in hours, we still enjoy it. But after all the feedback, all the shit, this is really all they can do right now is just fix the fucking game. So that by the time maybe next October, they can say, hey, here's year 2. AI is coming back in 4 months. So think about it. You're going to have to wait until year 2 sometime to even get that AI back. Like this game is not going to get saved. They're just, at this point, they're just trying to save face. They're trying to show that like, yeah, we're working on it. But I got to be honest, like I said, now I'm repeating myself. The majority of this shit, I didn't even experience the majority of this shit. Like this I experienced the most. Trying to base jump and dying. And guess what? It's still not fixed. You know? Little audio issues and for instance, for me, right? If I was a lead on this game, I'd take 2 people that worked. One guy and one girl. I said, yo, I need you guys for an hour tomorrow. What are we going to do? We're going to re-record all the civilian audio because it's absolute shit. I don't want civilians saying, get out of my personal space, or what are you doing? I want civilians to actually make sense, you know? Like little things like that, and that just right over their head. It's just oversight. And those are the things that are immersive. Those are the things that keep me in the game, that makes the world feel real. So there's a lot of work these developers need to do. And you know what? It's not just the programming. It's not just management. It's the art team too. The more I play the game, I feel like Breakpoint's map is less diverse than Wildlands, and supposedly it was supposed to be more diverse. But I gotta disagree. I think it's less diverse. In Wildlands, you had like Aqua de Verde, where you went around on a boat. It felt like, you know, you were in a water environment. Then they had red mountain areas. They had desert areas. They had forest areas with like evergreen trees. But then they had jungle areas that felt that like, was it Caimanes or Caimanes or something like that. And then there was with the submarines and everything, where it felt like the jungle, felt like Cambodia, felt like you were, you know, like where the Predator mission was. And the Unidad area, just, I don't know, it just felt more, it felt more alive, it felt more diverse, man. Just the terrain. Like this terrain it doesn't excite me as much. It's too plopped up all over the place. There's not one land in this game that's just an entire city on this island. You know, there's that one area, I forget, all the way to the south. It's like a circle. It's not that big, but there's really nothing to do there. You know, in Wildlands, you would go from little villages to the areas that you would steal resources from, like choppers and things like that, then to like big urban cities, to little broke down, you know, rinky dink areas. Like, it felt more alive, in my opinion. The no civilians, the story. I have a feeling they used the story as an excuse. Like, oh no, it's the island's like, it's martial law. I really just think that's because they just didn't have the time to do the citizens, to have them driving around and shit like that. It's the I'm getting to the point where everything makes sense on how broken this game is, and why the little things, like why aren't there people out there, and the excuse being that martial law. I just think they just didn't have time to do half of the shit that they would have liked to do, like they did in Wildlands. And now we're definitely not going to get it. They're not going to, you know, edit maps or start putting civilians out there. All that shit's done. They're just going to fix all these bugs until it's kind of, yeah, it's good. Like, they've already moved on from this shit. This is just to keep the few of us who are stupid enough to buy shit like this, to kind of keep us happy. Like, oh, it's coming. It's kind of like hope. Like how you have hope. If you have hope, you know, you'll maintain your position of stupidity. Like, no, it'll get better, but it really won't. We're all gonna log in tomorrow after we download 14 gigs of the game, and it's gonna be the same shit. The only difference is maybe a bug you experienced won't be there anymore, which it shouldn't have been in the first place, and you won't hear these morons shout when they get shot in the head, and the sick idiots coughing all day long. That's it. That's the experience from this title update. That is what you will experience the most. That you won't hear them yell and scream when they get shot in the head, and that when you're in Erewhon, you won't hear the person coughing. 14 gigs for that, for the majority of us, when you know there's a lot of bug fixes, but it's basically what it is. So anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you all think. Let's discuss some things in the comments. It is what it is. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the Terminator event, what's that going to be fun for? A week maybe? Same as the raid, you experience once and it's like, like the Predator mission was cool. Did it, you know, you do it enough to get all the gear, all the customizations that they put in the game, right? So the Terminator event will have some cool customization items that you'll play over and over and over again to get. Who knows if this time they'll, I haven't heard anything. I don't think it's going to be locked like a weekly thing, but who knows with the way they're designing this game. So we'll find out. So patch comes tomorrow, Terminator event on the 29th. FYI, for those of you who didn't know, the Terminator event does not drop tomorrow with the patch. I'm sure it'll get patched in tomorrow, but it will go live on the 29th. So Wednesday, you'll be able to play it. That is all for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. Be safe out there. You know, with this terrible news of Kobe and the people that are on the plane with him, his little girl and the other family that was with him. Life is precious. Don't take things too seriously. For instance, this stuff is just video games. Don't worry about it. Go out there. Experience life. Have fun with family and friends. Love everybody. Love yourselves. And that is all. I love you all. Thank you for hanging out with me for the past 50 minutes. If you did, kudos to you. Get a life. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next video, or I will see you in game. All right. Remember, on PC, hit me up if you want to. My name is the same name as this channel. If you want to hit me up on Uplay, send me a friend request. I'm all about it. And that is all. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Okay, peace.